Welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Last time, we left the Kokiri Forest for the outside world of Hyrule and did some side stuff in the Castle Town. Well, I always call it Castle Town. I know it's Market, I don't know why. We also infiltrated the castle, which wasn't really a chore because the guards are pretty incompetent. And now we're able to talk to this familiar looking girl. She was in our prophetic dream from the beginning of the game, and she's gonna divulge a lot more plot. There's not gonna be a whole lot getting done in this part because a lot of it is gonna be plot, which kinda sucks. Not saying that plot is bad, just, for the purposes of commentary, it doesn't leave much for me to talk about. I suppose I can go on a bit of a tangent talking about my history with the game. Ocarina of Time was my first game, as I've said before, and it's probably the game that I've played the most. Like, of all time, not just in the Zelda series, even though it's not actually my favorite Zelda game. But, I was really young when I first saw the game, and I don't actually remember a whole lot. But what I like to think is that I saw my uncle playing it, because at the time I was living with a lot more family members than I am now, and I wanted to play the game, so I did. And he's the one that got me into video games, starting with this one, and I've been playing them and enjoying them since, I first played this game, so I kind of have him and this game to thank for that. Hopefully he never watches this video because that was pretty sappy. With that kind of history lesson over, now we're kind of getting a similar cutscene to the one that we saw with the Great Deku Tree. It's a bit different, and it's a bit more important to the plot. Before talking about all this plot though, I want to say something that I thought is pretty neat. Zelda said a bit earlier that she had a prophetic dream as well, one where she saw us, or Link rather, which is pretty cool. I like that. I don't know why. I guess it provides some sort of connection between Link and Zelda. As for this bit of plot, it's talking more about the Triforce, reinforcing what I said earlier about how it can do whatever the plot wants it to, by which I mean it can grant wishes, and apparently if a good person grants a wish, Hyrule will be prosperous, and if a bad person grants a wish, then Hyrule's gonna turn into a burning pile of burning stuff. And geez, does the Triforce look a bit tacky in this game. I guess I could go into it now, but the 3D version looks so much better, and it makes me sad because I can't play the 3D version. I mean, I can, just not recording myself and, doing commentary over it. Now, though, we are finally given our task for the remainder of this part of the story. Well, I say finally as if a lot of time has passed. This is only the third part, but we have to gather the 3 spiritual stones, one of which we already have. We have the Kokiri Emerald, and along with Zelda's Ocarina of Time, we can open the Door of Time and protect Hyrule and stuff from the evil man that we're about to look at. Real quick, there's this weird thing that games do. It's called a but thou must situation, where you have a choice, but not really. Like, here I'm gonna click no, and I'm still gonna be forced to, look through the window. But in earlier situations in this whole conversation with Zelda, you were given yes or no options, and in those, if you press no, instead of progressing like it is doing here, you would trigger a new bit of dialogue, which was basically Zelda saying, say yes instead, and then it would keep repeating until you said yes instead. Here, we get a good look at Ganondorf, our antagonist for this game, and of many, many other Zelda games, but in this one, he's swearing his allegiance to the King of Hyrule, who we never get to see, but she doesn't think he's sincere. She thinks that he symbolizes dark clouds in her dream, which is evil stuff. So, we're not supposed to trust him for some reason. I mean, I don't know the guy personally. He might be a cool dude. I don't know. She also told her father about the prophetic dream, but apparently he doesn't believe her, because why take the word of your child over some random dude that just came from the desert. Still, I don't know the guy. He might be wanting to use the Triforce to, I don't know, make himself a good character in Smash Brothers. Well, I mean, he's not a bad character. I mean, like, actually play like, you know, Ganon would in Smash Brothers, because right now, if you don't know, he plays exactly like Captain Falcon. Well, not exactly, but he has pretty much the same moves, and he's not Ganondorf. He's Captain Ganon. Though I am making a bad and vain attempt at trying to make Ganondorf seem like a not so bad guy, we're not really in a position to negotiate with Zelda right now. I mean, we're a little weird boy that infiltrated a castle. I'm pretty sure breaking and entering is still illegal in Hyrule. Well, I say still as if it wasn't at some point, but we're breaking and entering, and Zelda is a princess that could probably tell someone that we're breaking and entering if we say no, and have us, I don't know, thrown in jail or killed or something. But whatever. We're gonna progress with the story because that's what the game wants us to do. And we have this new character who is part of a new race, I guess you'd call it, in the Zelda series. This is Impa. She's part of the Sheikah. The Sheikah are basically Hyrulean ninjas. They protect the royal family because they were told to, I guess. And she's gonna teach us a song, a very special song that's pretty much our ticket into a lot of things. I mean, they make quote-unquote puzzles with this song, by which I mean opening doors with it, taking, you know, a few seconds to play the song. But now we're getting our first Ocarina song, and they're not difficult to play as they are on a probably real ocarina. I wouldn't know, I haven't played one, but I have played instruments before, and I know that it's not as easy as hitting 3 buttons twice. And this is weird. Link presses, well, I press 3 buttons, and Link plays 3 notes over and over. Alright? He starts off with the 3 notes, and then he goes on to the rest of the song. We weren't taught that part. I mean, we can hear it in the background, but, you know, Link isn't supposed to hear it. And somehow, just by learning 3 notes, he knows the rest of the song. That's just me taking gameplay at face value, or putting it into real life, which isn't my job. That's not me. That's game theory. Game theory can do that. For now, though, we're taken outside of the castle by Impa, because if the guards saw us, they'd probably be like, "What are you doing here? How did you get past us? We're gonna kick you out now." And this is much faster. It's more convenient. She tells us that we have to go to Death Mountain, and that's past the Kakariko village, which is where she grew up, I guess. It's like the root of the Sheikahs. But right now, we're actually not going to do that. We're going to do some optional stuff, because I'm scared of progress. And it's important optional stuff. Like, it'll help us out in the long run. It's not totally new either, because we're actually going to be talking with characters that we met before, although very briefly. We only had to talk to them maybe once or twice. And Impa shows off her ninja skills by using a Deku Nut to warp away, I suppose. That's not, well, this is something personal, I guess. It's my own little headcanon. But the way they describe Deku Nuts in this game is that they stun people. You know, if you were to use a Deku Nut on an enemy, they'd like turn blue and they wouldn't be able to move, and they'd be easy pickings. What I like to think happens is that she used the Deku Nut, it created the flash, and Link got stunned and turned blue for a few seconds, and then she was able to, you know, walk away at a brisk pace. And then when Link came to after standing there for a few seconds, he's like, "Oh my god, she's gone." That's some ninja stuff right there. Anyway, we're in the Lon Lon Ranch. The Lon Lon Ranch is a completely optional area. You don't have to come here for anything that's required in the game, although it does provide some useful stuff. And I do not want to talk to you, Mario Talon. He's the guy we met earlier, you know, sitting in front of the boxes in our way to infiltrating the castle. And we had to wake him up with a cuckoo. But right now, he was just sleeping with a ton of cuckoos around him. And he was, sleeping. He didn't wake up. But now, we just talk to him and he wakes up. When before, talking to him normally wouldn't wake him up. So it's like, he got used to the cuckoos, but now he isn't used to a regular person talking to him. Anyway, he has a minigame. And that minigame is not a, spectacular one. The goal is to grab 3 cuckoos that he throws. Those 3 that are on him, like one's on his lap and the 2 are behind him. And he throws them into this gaggle of regular cuckoos. And you have to find them before time runs out. You only have like 30 seconds. There's a way to cheat the game, which is, making the gaggle all go behind him so that, it's a 100% chance that you're going to catch a super cuckoo. I'm not that great at this minigame for some reason. I don't know why, but I just find this to be a faster way for me because instead of playing the game multiple times and spending a bunch of rupees, even though it only costs 10, I could just do it in one try and get the reward really fast. So now that we've gotten all the cuckoos behind him, we can just talk to him, skip through all his texts, and start looking for cuckoos. Looking in plain sight because they're right there. The cool thing about this game isn't the game itself, it's the reward. It's an item that we haven't gotten yet, which is interesting, I suppose. It's a bottle. Bottles are super amazing items. They're the most overpowered thing in the Zelda series. He also offers us to marry Malon. Whether or not you say yes or no, doesn't matter because he has the same dialogue box afterwards. Anyway, back to bottles. You can carry stuff in them, like a lot of different things. At first, he gives you milk. Milk is pretty overpowered, at least when I was doing 3 heart runs it was, because milk fills up 5 hearts. We only have 4 right now. And they have 2 servings in them. So that means if you, take a swig, you fill up your hearts to full in a 3 heart run. And then if you get hurt some more and take another swig, you fill your hearts to full again. There's a gold sculpture in that tree that I neglected to talk about. You just roll into it and bam, he falls out. But that's not the only use for bottles. There's some other things you can do that I'll talk about later. Some that are combat stuff. Anyway, Malon here, the girl that we were talking to before who gave us the egg, which she had for some reason. We're gonna talk to her and learn a new Ocarina song. She's trying to introduce us to her favorite horse, Epona, but if you run around and try to chase Epona, she kind of runs away from you. Alright, I get it, Navi. You got something to say. I'm not gonna press C up and talk to you. She asks us if we want to sing the song with her, but Link's not much of a person who uses words at all. But this song doesn't use words either. Okay, he's not... I was gonna say he doesn't use his vocal cords, but he likes to yell a lot. Okay, he doesn't do anything spectacular with his voice. Alright. We get taught Epona's song, which, same problem occurs where you learn 3 notes twice, and you know the entire song for some reason, but whatever. Suspension of disbelief. Link is just a master at everything. That's why he can use any item, with as much finesse as he does. And there was a little look at Kippora Gibbora right there. Now, Epona, instead of running away from us, will run into us and kind of push you if you stand in front of her. Like so. The purpose of Epona's song isn't completely apparent right now. We can use it to get Epona to like us. That's, the first thing. And it's going to be used much later for that same purpose. But there's another reason to use it that is kind of obscure. It's for getting milk in your bottles. Oh hey, it's Luigi in his fire outfit, or his normal outfit in the original Mario Brothers. His name isn't Luigi, it's Ingo, and he says that he's a super hard-working person and that he should be in charge of the ranch because he puts in all the work. I don't care who's in charge of the ranch, because I don't care about the ranch. It's flourishing, whatever. It's gonna take a little while to walk towards where we're gonna walk to. So I'm just gonna equip the milk bottle because I want to show something off with it and something else off with Epona's song. But instead you can enjoy the sound of Link yelling and rolling all over the place while the peaceful melodies of Lon Lon Ranch play. A neat little thing that happens when you're in Lon Lon Ranch is that if Malon is in the field, she'll be singing the song. And the farther away you get from her, the more like the instruments change. Like if you get close to her, the song will change so that she's singing it, and if you're far away from her, the song will change so that it's the actual instruments that are playing. We get a little block pushing puzzle here. We have to move the blocks out of the way so that you show this little hole in the wall over here. And if you climb on top of this box and get into the hole, you have a nice little reward for yourself. It's another piece of heart, which, you know, it's nice. It's a good reward. It's better than a gold Skulltula. Although I will be coming back here for more gold Skulltulas because I'm not done here. The other thing that I'm going to show off with the milk bottle is also going to be happening in this room. And it has to do with those things that are mooing over there. They're called cows, if you didn't know. So, I take a swig of the milk. I'm at full hearts already, so it doesn't really matter. I take another swig of the milk because it's 2 servings. But my bottle's empty. However, will I get more milk? You can swing it around when it's empty. You could talk to Talon, and he'll ask you, hey, you want to buy some milk for a certain amount of money? I don't even know what the amount is, because there's this little trick that you can do with Epona's song, which is you play it near a cow, and they'll give you some milk for free. Which is, neat. It's free stuff. Why would you turn down free stuff? And again, 2 servings, overpowered milk. With that, though, I think that's everything that I have to show off in the ranch at this point. We're going to be coming back here later. Again, there's more gold Skulltulas, but we can't really get them right now. We're actually going to do some story progression. Well, we're not. We're going to reach story progression. We're just not going to progress. Instead, we're just going to roll across the field some more and get to Kakariko Village, where Impa told us to go initially. I'm actually going to take a little while to get there, but I'm actually doing that on purpose because I plan ahead for these kinds of things. We're going to be going across the field, but not super quickly. The reason being, I want it to be nighttime. Yes, finally we get to be out in the field at nighttime. And it's not that different. I mean, there's no like physical changes to the landscape or anything like that. It just gets a bit darker. And enemies start popping out. Although they only pop out when you're on like grass. They don't pop out if you're on that path that was leading to Hyrule Castle from the Kokiri Forest. The enemies that pop out are stall children, which are little skelly wellies, but I'm not gonna fight them. They're cake. I'm not gonna deal with that. But we've arrived at Kakariko Village at nighttime, so we don't get to hear the nice music. Next time, though, we're gonna do some side questing here.